Okay, here we go. Well, I have both of my Triumph TR3s in the garage. There's the 55, which is going to be repaired, and here's a 60 that was an old race car that's being used for parts. And I'm using a lot of the car, actually. I'm going to end up using the frame because the frame's bent on the 55 badly, and all four fenders, it actually has pretty decent, three of the fenders are quite decent. I need this one too, but it's been heavily damaged, so see if I can repair it. Can't make it any worse than it is. And the this rear panel is being used, the whole rear end, also inner fender wells, a lot of stuff. My poor little 55 is just badly rotten. Rotted everywhere. The inner sills are wasted. Floor. Matter of fact, I got to pull the sills and the sheet metal off that car to repair this one before I can even take it off the frame. It's in such bad shape. But I've already been stripping it. I got some photos of it where I'll have to post them before I started stripping it. So it was pretty much complete, all nose and doors and everything. Here's the story on these. This 55, I tried to buy this very car in 1970, it was either 73 or 74. I either couldn't mow enough lawns or something. I was on a bicycle. I didn't even have a car license yet. I was 13. And I just couldn't come up with it, so somebody bought it out from underneath me. It was my very first car deal I tried to make. I had another TR3 that me and my dad pulled out of an alley that it was good for parts. So that was my very first car. There was no hope in getting it going, but it was a project for a kid. And fast forward to last spring, a friend of mine finds this on Craigslist. It was too far gone, really, that he wanted to tackle it. He told me about it, and lo and behold, I said, I thought I recognized that car. I found some pictures I'd taken of it back in 73, and sure enough, it's the same car. And it sounds like the guy that had it on the Craigslist was the guy who bought it out from underneath me all those years ago. So if that wasn't unique enough that a car came back to me, and I now have it, this car is almost as unique. This very Triumph lived down the street from me in my neighborhood. The guy who had it didn't want to sell it, but I was down there helping tinker with it and stuff. It had a Buick 215 V8 in it, which I pulled out just the other day. It's got a narrowed Corvette rear end under it from like a late 50s or mid 50s Corvette. Not a very well built race car, pretty sloppy actually. But here all these years later, this car surfaced last summer too. And how it was incredible enough that one surfaced, but both of them? So they're both here in the garage after all these years. They're not in the best of condition, and neither have I. I haven't aged well either. But the other interesting thing about this 55, the guy who ordered it with absolutely every accessory, every option you could possibly get that was on the list. He ordered all of them. The wire wheels, the overdrive transmission, heater, back seat, even the factory installed radio, which basically they eliminate the glove box to put the radio in there. And I guess kind of the rare one, this car came with a hardtop. This car has never had a soft top on it, ever. So the guy either must have ran a tonneau cover in the summer or something, but never had a hardtop. No frame, no nothing. The screw holes had plugs in them. Never was there. Now this car here had a frame and everything, so this one will now have a soft top plus the hard top plus everything else. But anyway, this is going to be a lengthy project. It was wrecked real bad, and I didn't realize it until I started stripping into it. And you really can't quite see it in the video, but that whole spring tower and lower control arm is twisted backwards in the frame, which is really bad. But the frame in this car is actually really nice. The only thing I got to do is cut off some garbage that was welded onto it, like these frame here, engine mounts and stuff. They got to all be cut off. They didn't cut anything off the frame, so it's just a matter of getting that stuff cut off. Not to mention these stuck up through the floor, and there was overrider shocks up on pylons, and then the roll bar was on top of that. God. And then this, how's this, see if I can get in there? Yeah, there you go. How about that for a clever way of lowering the car? And the springs come up through the floor. So those have got to be repaired. But anyway, it's giving me a lot of the pieces I need. And ever since I retired last summer and sold my shop, don't have very much money at all. I did okay to support myself throughout the years, but not enough to really make anything extra. So I'm really going to be on a majorly tight budget with this car. I'm not even certain how I'm going to come up with what I need, but maybe I'll do a GoFundMe page. But one way or the other, it'll come along. I'm hoping to have it operational and hopefully restored in 5 years, which is a kind of a tight timeline. The main reason is, in 5 years, this car will have sat unoperational as a derelict for 50 years. So I'd like for its 50-year anniversary to actually run down the road again. Anyway, I'll start making a series of videos. And matter of fact, I got to figure out how to do that because I've never done it before on YouTube. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, there's Miss Kitty. Yeah. All right.